Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Some very interesting comments from the Republican Senator from Texas, Ted Cruz. Pretty interesting character, Ted Cruz. I'm going to show you some comments he made about cronies, yes, cronies of President Biden wanting to raise taxes on all of the American people. Folks, welcome to this interesting episode of Ignition Time. I would call this an episode of the DC Comedy Hour. Let's start with this headline on your screen from CNBC. Ted Cruz illegally promoted his book with campaign funds, according to a watchdog in an ethics complaint. Yep, folks, this is what's going on. Ted Cruz violated campaign finance laws by using donor funds to promote his book, according to a watchdog that actually filed 2 ethics complaints. And the Campaign Legal Center accused Ted Cruz's campaign committee of spending up to $18,000 on Facebook advertisements that exclusively urged viewers to buy copies of Ted Cruz's book, which, by the way, has got nothing to do with the business of the country. That means more money in Ted Cruz's pocket. And an attorney for the campaign committee said that Cruz has closely followed Federal Election Commission laws and guidelines when promoting his book, and he has not received any royalties whatsoever for these book sales. So that was their defense. Now, as you probably know, Senator Ted Cruz, along with all the members in the Republican Party, are against the Biden infrastructure plan, the $2.25 trillion American jobs plan. They've cited concerns about inflation. They've cited concerns about the fact that a very small portion of the plan actually has to do with infrastructure. They've actually cited concerns with raising the tax rate, which is what President Biden has to do in an effort to pay for the plan. They've cited concerns about pretty much everything with the infrastructure plan and said they are not going to support the plan. In some brand new comments with none other than Sean Hannity of Fox News, I'm going to highlight some important comments from Senator Ted Cruz. Now, before I show you the segment, I want you to know it doesn't matter to me whether Ted Cruz was talking to Sean Hannity on Fox or talking with someone at CNN. What matters to me is what the senator says, because for me it's important what the lawmakers say. It doesn't really matter which network they say it on. And that is how we can analyze the news, and that is how Ignition Time tries to be a reliable source of information for you. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, the economy, as well as our money. Let's understand what Ted Cruz said. He said Biden and his leftist cronies want to jack up the taxes on American families and every small business in America. Pretty incredible comments from Ted Cruz. Let me know whether you agree or disagree. Let's roll the tape and hear from the one and only Ted Cruz.
Corporations don't pay taxes, I argue, or very little. What they will do is they will increase the cost of the product or services that they have. Just like energy prices are going up because of Biden's policies, that's another tax on the American people. Thoughts?
Well, I'm reminded of what Hillary Clinton said a few years ago. She said, don't let anybody tell you a corporation or a business will give you a job. Well, these are folks that don't understand how the economy works. You know what the people of Texas want? We want jobs. We want more jobs. And how do you get jobs? You create an environment where small businesses can grow and expand and hire people. We've just come out of a year-long pandemic that has hammered small businesses all across the country. And what do Joe Biden and his leftist cronies in the cabinet want to do? Every one of them wants to raise your taxes. They want to jack up the taxes on American families. They want to jack up the taxes on every small business in America at the exact time that millions of small businesses are hanging on by a thread. They're right at the edge between going bankrupt and surviving. And what the Biden administration is doing is giving a shove. The early projections are this Biden tax increase, the biggest tax increase in a generation, is expected to almost immediately cost 150,000 jobs and potentially a lot more after that.
Now, Cruz isn't done. In another attempt at trying to decimate the infrastructure plan and the overall philosophy, the overall agenda of the Democratic Party, Cruz said this: big government socialists want to tax everybody all the time, and they want to keep raising money for all their spending that they want to do. Pretty incredible comments. Let's roll the tape and hear what Cruz had to say, and then I'll give you my take on it. So make sure you watch this video all the way through to the end. Let's roll the tape and hear from Cruz.
Hey, Senator, it's the biggest tax increase in 30 years. Now Janet Yellen wants a global minimum tax rate. Now, we see people leaving California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois. They're going to states like yours in Texas, or Ron DeSantis' state in Florida and the Carolinas. Now, if they have a global corporate minimum tax, isn't the idea, well, corporations leave big cities for tax-friendlier states like Texas, they might start thinking about leaving the United States. And isn't that what that's about?
Look, big government socialists want to tax everybody all the time. They're looking for mechanisms to keep raising money. Why? Because they think they can spend your money better than you can. They have all these big ideas. You look at Joe Biden's supposed infrastructure bill, over $2 trillion. Do you know how much of that infrastructure goes to building roads and bridges? 5%. 95% of his infrastructure bill is spending money on things other than roads and bridges. This is a shell game. And the shell game, it always ends with the same trick. Your taxes go up on your wages, on your small business, on your employer, and the big government socialists take the money and they spend it on the Green New Deal. They spend it on their own special interest projects. Look, I'm a big believer when our economy has taken a hard hit that the American people, the working men and women, deserve to keep more of their paycheck in their own pockets. You know, we had, prior to this pandemic, we had the lowest unemployment in 50 years. It was incredible, the economic boom we had, and that came from low taxes and low regulations. What does Joe Biden want to do? High taxes, high regulations. That's destroying your job. It's bad for the country, and it is. We're going to see a whole lot more of that over the next 2 years, unfortunately.
So those were the comments from Cruz. Everyone, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm smiling because once again, this is an episode of the DC Comedy Hour. It's another Ted Cruz episode. But folks, my take on this is politics is about timing, opportunity, tribalism, and perception. All these politicians sense an opportunity to criticize the other party when the other party is trying to do something that is ambitious. Whether the Democrats are right or wrong is not the question here. The fact here, and the fact that that both parties try to hide, is that they try and point fingers at the other party and they misrepresent the situation. And my goal for you on the Ignition Time channel is to present you with the truth wherever the truth might lead us. I believe that Senator Cruz and a majority of the Republicans are citing concerns about inflation, citing concerns about higher taxes. These are essentially manufactured problems to create more tribalism. Tribalism is us against them. You'll never hear a party saying, "Oh, that was awesome. I think they're doing well. Maybe we can do it a little bit better." So that's not what we're going to get. Also, one thing is clear, folks. If we're going to spend $2.25 trillion on infrastructure, in addition to the trillions we've already spent, and you take into consideration the fact that we are in a federal deficit, we are upside down as a country, we are in debt, the fact is that money has to be raised from somewhere. Taxes have to go up. If taxes don't go up on the corporations, on the ultra wealthy, taxes have to go up somewhere. And it's very clear that the Democrats don't want to raise taxes on the middle class because they feel that it'll be politically damaging and it doesn't fit in with their ideology. I've mentioned this before on our channel. There is a world where we can spend all this money without raising taxes, and that is a special place called La La Land. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This right here is a little bit of information about me. I appreciate you. Please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. I would really appreciate you doing that. That does help out the YouTube algorithm. Let me know what you thought of Ted Cruz's comments. I assure you, when Ted Cruz watches Ignition Time, there he is. "What's up, Ted?" He clicks the like button when he's not promoting his book. That is. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.